12.2 Apocalypse, Nethriza, Sylvanas, and the Lords of Midnight. Oh my god, the Nathrezine are returning. This is what I want, man. I want some more Dreadlord lore. I'm hoping that we get some, maybe with Gallywix returning. We know maybe he's dealt with some Dreadlords in the past. Who knows? Pepe's obviously the Lord of Dreadlords. The real fight. Let's see what this is all about. We're already getting into 12.2 content. Here we go from Zaxxas.
All right, listen up and get ready, because we're about to blow the lid off of the greatest conspiracy against mortals on Azeroth. I'm your host, Nazax, broadcasting from the Undermine. And today,
there we go. We're in the Undermine now.
A plot so diabolical that it could only have been architected by Azeroth's master manipulators, the Nathrezine.
That's right.
I'm talking about the terrible terrors of shadowy deception, the infamous Dreadlords. These bat-winged, skin-changing freaks have been lurking in the darkness since Warcraft 3, and now their time in the moonlight has all but arrived. Prep your best tinfoil hats as we take a deep dive into a sinister mystery proving how the Nathrezine...
Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. I already see what he's doing here. Is this Gallywix? Maybe. Maybe. And then we got our Light Lord here, and then we finally got Sour Denathrius returning. Oh, my God. Could this be just one giant World Soul Saga of Dreadlords? I sure hope so. I love the Dreadlords lore. I think it's great. Infiltrating every single realm, every single aspect of everything. Let's see it.
The big picture of the World Soul Saga. Today's report, the Nathrezine Master Plan. How the Dreadlords are the true villains of Midnight, and how they plan to blacken our sun.
Ooh.
Plunging Azeroth into shadow and fear. Before we get
the enemy you see and the enemy you don't.
Let's start with the ones we do see. Since Legion at least, and the Cataclysm before it, the Void has been framed as Azeroth's greatest of threats. The whispers of the old gods, Xalatath's sharp wit, Void Elves and Ethereals, it's all been building towards an apocalyptic showdown. But what if I told you it's all a diversion? We know from the book titled Enemy Infiltration Preface, found in Revendreth, that the Nathrezine aren't just the servants of the Burning Legion or Death. They're cosmic manipulators who have infiltrated every force in the Warcraft universe. Life, light, void, order, you name it. These interdimensional psychic vampire freakazoids have been playing both sides all along.
That's
and
right.
we have the proof right here. In this little bedtime story penned by one of the Nathrezine, they spill the beans about their grand operation.
The Void Lords all but welcome us with open arms. They are so preoccupied with their 1,000 truths that they ignore the lies we sow in their very midst.
Oh my God.
I believe we can leverage their vast reach to position them as a foil against our other rivals. We remain wary, though. Since they are observant of multiple outcomes, it is conceivable they could anticipate our coming.
Very interesting. So, not only do the Void Lords, they see their 1,000 truths, and the Dreadlords want to use that as basically a way to infiltrate. They're so busy looking at all these possibilities, they may miss the one that is the Dreadlords, or they might not. And they might be playing the reverse Uno card where they know the Dreadlords are there and they're allowing it to happen. Oh man, I love this kind of storytelling.
They could anticipate
threads
our
on
coming.
threads.
Similar to the Titans, the Naru and their keepers are singular in purpose. Their adherence to a linear path is an obvious shortcoming. They savor nothing more than being proved right. So, if they believe they have converted one of us to their precious light, they will trust that agent implicitly.
Yeah, well, there it is. I mean, it's been obvious all along. I've never trusted him this entire time. Man, I can't remember his name exactly right now, but he's sitting there on the ship doing his thing, just standing there all light forged and everything. But it's fairly obvious that he's just an infiltration. Now, what's weird about him is he's obviously a Dreadlord. He's not in disguise in any way. He's just sitting there with the light infused on him, doing his thing. Yes, Lord Lothraxian. Yes, Lothraxian. That's his name. Obviously, infiltration of the light. And if I had to say which side's probably easier for the Dreadlords to infiltrate, it'd have to be the light over the void. Because like he said, the Naru and the light in general is so much focused on being proven right and their truth and everything, they're blinded to everything else. Whereas the void is very much aware of everything that's going on. They know all the possibilities. So you have to basically hide your, infiltration possibility in between all the others so you can kind of get by. So if they've infiltrated the light, not a surprise. Infiltrating the void probably is much harder for them, and yet I would believe it if they did.
So, according to them, they've got their claws in the Titans, the Void Lords, and even the Naru. And worst of all, they don't play favorites. The Void, it's a shadow, a bluff, a twisted charade. The Void Lords and the Old Gods, with their constant whispers, they're just the faded losers in a far greater game. And Xalatath, the Harbinger, more than just a flashy purple distraction, she's the perfect decoy. She keeps our attention with the Void's 1,000 truths while the unseen ones prepare their ultimate move.
Oh, shit.
To heroes like us, Tementius is a non-threat, propped up by the masters of misdirect, the Nathrazim, the architects of chaos, and unseen hand pulling every string, playing up the void like smoke and mirrors to quell our hope, while the real nightmare slips right under our noses. And by the time we figure it out, it's already too late. Now, let's move on to the War Within's likely third act, Beladar. This massive crystal, almost certainly a crashed dimensional ship of Naru alignment, is stuck in the cavern ceiling of Hallowfall, swapping light and void states like a ticking time bomb about to blow.
By the way, there has been... Oh, he's about to talk about it. I was literally about to say, there has been art out there that reveals a staircase going into the crystal. So I would say it's almost certain at this point. Now, this is concept art that Blizzard released. This isn't some kind of leak or anything like that. But I would say this clearly reveals at least that there was a story plot thought of that could have been implemented, could have not. But there is a story plot where the crystal itself could be the final raid of this expansion, could be the final part. At some point, we're going to explore it more. I don't think we're done with the Hallowfall crystal yet. And we're going to find out a lot more about it in the coming patches.
Patch 11.2.
I think there's pirates at the crystal.
Our mission is to stabilize the ship and secure whatever's inside before the Void's forces take over. Logically, we'd be aided by characters like Velen, Ilaria, Terrellium, and the Army of the Light. And you know who else is perfectly positioned to help? Enter Lothraxion, the Light-forged Nathrazim, and right-hand man to Terrallion in the Army of the Light. Oh, sure, of course we trust him. Even the Prime Naruzera did, after all. Wow. Plus, he's got that golden boy aura that makes everyone think, hey, this guy's on our side. In the raid on Beladar, the shining Nathrazim Knight and the armies of the light will show up to save the day, guiding us through the crystalline corridors in a hot pursuit of Xalatath and her ethereal armies. But here's the twist, my friends. What if our success at Lothraxion's side, him earning our trust, is exactly the catalyst the Nathrazim anticipate to kick their own plans into high gear? We think we're saving the world, when in reality, we're handing them the key to take it. But will Lothraxion
undermine the D is for Dreadlord? Maybe.
Be the first Nathrazim
Blizzard giving us the D?
Oh no, that honor goes to Deatharok.
So if you don't know this theory, Zaxxas, the same creator here, made the video about Deatharok being, in fact, being Gallywix. That Gallywix is in fact just another Dreadlord who's been leading the goblins, and he's infiltrated the Horde. And the similarities here. This model right here is from the remake of Warcraft 3, I believe. It's from Warcraft Reforged. Unfortunately, it's that was a problem, but it created some new models. And Deatharok's model, I mean, the double chin, everything. It's some similarities here, uncanny similarities between him and Gallywix. Yeah, look at that face. I mean, you're going to tell me that it could be Gallywix. Yeah, it could be Gallywix.
Let's rewind to the War Within's first major patch, 11.1, Undermined. Azeroth's most wanted pot-bellied goblin, Jastor Gallywix, is back in business.
He sure is.
Terrorizing the cartels of Undermine from the Galagio Casino. As we raid the Galagio, it starts out like a typical goblin bust. Smash the mech, loot the gold, and take down the Chrome King.
Right.
But as we delve deeper, we uncover a horrifying truth. Gallywix, our beloved schemer and coin counter, may not be the Gallywix we know. For this belligerent King of Diamonds has been replaced or dominated, made a pawn by none other than Deathrock.
Oh, I see what he did there. One of the old god whispers, the King of Diamonds has been made a pawn. Interesting. Which would mean, though, that the old gods and the Void are aware of the Dreadlord's presence here. Now, the old gods and the Void may be aware of the Dreadlord's presence in certain places, but they may not understand the big plan. You know, as the Dreadlords mentioned earlier in this video, they've kind of tried to interweave it in a way where they're not fully aware of it. The Void Lords haven't become fully aware of their plan.
The gluttonous, scheming Lord of Dread first seen in Warcraft 3. When we corner Gallywix, the mask drops, revealing Deathrock in all his corpulent glory. With a sinister laugh, Deathrock escapes, leaving behind the real Gallywix, if he's even breathing, to our clouded judgment.
This
and
would be a cool
taunting
ending.
us in the role he's played in Xalatath's plans. And what have we learned? The Nathrazim are everywhere.
That's right.
Fast forward the clock to midnight.
Great
where
ending, yeah. The Void and Light come together to defeat the Dreadlords. It would be cool, but I just wonder, what's the Dreadlords' endgame? They want to they just want power, maybe? They just want to rule over everything? I have no idea. Obviously, Sarah would become very relevant again, which would be awesome, because he was the best thing to come out of Shadowlands.
The Nathrazim's
We'll see.
master plan is ratcheted into full gear. In this chilling roadmap drafted by the hands of Nathrazim agents, we can follow their every step toward the linchpin
He created a
of their
roadmap.
twisted
Oh, shit.
game, the Sunwell. A radiant well.
What is this? He created an entire roadmap? What the hell? Hold on. Heart Song 11.2. Okay. Eternal Night. Defenders of Dawn. Midnight pre-patch. Interesting. So this is Midnight Alpha, Midnight Beta.
Their every step toward the linchpin of their
And then he has
twisted-
Midnight launching here. 4 new zones, 8 new dungeons. New raid, the Necropolis. New delve, the Hallows. New PvP, Hero Towns, Player Home, Silver Moon City, a new campaign story. Okay, and then the Midnight content patch.
game, the Sunwell.
Tides of Destiny.
A radiant
12.1, 12.1.5, Light's Wrath.
wellspring of arcane and light. But then
New Isle, the Isle of Quel'Danas. New raid, Defense of the Sunwell. This would be cool, man. This would be really cool, because we already know, if you ever played a Void Elf or you made one, you tried to visit the Sunwell, and that entire thing blew up in your face. The Void kind of reacted to it a certain way. Very obvious that the Void does want the Sunwell. So a war at the Sunwell for the raid, that would be a really cool storyline to play through.
they're not the only ones seeking its power. In patch 12.1, Reckoning, the Void, heralded by the cunning Xalatath, launches its long-awaited assault, and a full-scale invasion of Quel'Thalas is set into motion,
highlight right.
intent on snuffing out the light of the Sunwell. But just like Khadgar
Yeah,
warned
he said it
us,
himself.
This isn't the real fight.
the true threat, my
Damn, there are so many little clues all around. This shit's blowing my... This is why I love watching Zaxxas videos. All these little hints. Oh my god.
friends, is far
is it,
more
boys.
luminous. The climactic raid of patch 12.1 takes place at the Sunwell Plateau. The battle is arduous, sacrifices were made, but Dementius and the Void Lords are banished. Xalatath is nowhere to be seen, and the war appears to be over. However, as we begin to sell
By the way, if we go back to the Sunwell, Ashes of Alar. Needs to be a remade Ashes of Alar mount. That's an obvious, like, if Blizzard doesn't do that, I'm going to be very disappointed.
celebrate our victory over the shadow, fear lingers in
Coffee.
the air. For you see, of course, since we know that Ilaria cannot near the Sunwell herself due to her void powers,
Yep.
her and Terralion will have echoed their earlier interaction in Hallowfall, splitting up during the battle for the greater good of Quel'Thalas and Azeroth. In Illyria's place, a trusted general of the Army of the Light will be tasked with defending the Sunwell alongside Terralion. Who else but the light-forged Nathrazim
That's
Dreadlord, Lothraxion.
Enter Lothraxion.
Day begins to break as a bloodied moon hangs over our scarred battlefield, and just when it seems we're in the clear, betrayal strikes. In a not-so-shocking twist, Lothraxion, this offensive excuse for a Winter's Veil tree topper, makes his dastardly move, finally revealing his true allegiances. Alongside a...
So this is the transition he's saying to the Last Titan. That this whole Sunwell battle happens. This would technically be the, the final battle of Midnight. And then we head into the Last Titan. But I wonder how he's going to tie the Dreadlords into the Titans. We'll see.
Turning Deathrok with the asset in hand, they then use the Sunwell's energy to tear open a rift through the twisting nether, opening the way to the shattered remnants of Nathriza, the desecrated homeworld of the Dreadlords.
Oh my god. Oh my, what a twist that would be. We go to the Dreadlord home? Oh my god, this would be so badass. Going to Nathriza? Holy crap.
Of Nathriza, the desecrated homeworld of the Dreadlords. With this foul act, the vampiric Nathrazim darken Azeroth's sun, as foreshadowed with Beledar, plunging the world into a nocturnal hellscape of shadow and fear. Midnight has fallen, heroes. And with the looming darkness comes patch 12.2, Apocalypse. In this chapter, the Nathrazim are poised to resurrect their proudest achievement, Sire Denathrius. A knowledgeable being of hunger and ambition, still bound within...
On your knees. Oh my god. Man, Sire Denathrius was so damn good. Like, as bad as Shadowlands was at times, he was like the one shining light. I loved Sire Denathrius.
His blade, Remordia. The Sunwell Plateau is lost to the forces of dread, and in Azeroth's darkest hours, patch 12.1.5, Anduin Wrynn will turn to an unexpected ally, Sylvanas Windrunner. Her first-hand experience of these evils, her personal vendetta against Deathrok, and dealings with...
I don't know if I'm ready for Sylvanas. I know she's gonna come back. I know she's going to come back at some point, but Steve Denuser and his writing and all the shit that happened with her, I'm still scarred. I still need a little bit. Maybe by the end of Midnight, I'll be ready for her. But as of right now, I can't handle Sylvanas and her stupid monologue when Arthas was dying. You know, the last wisp of Arthas was floating away, and she had to fucking make it about her. Typical. She making the moment about her, you know, just taking the starlight. It is what it is. Hey, maybe they'll fix her.
Veramathras makes her an invaluable asset in the fight against the Dreadlords.
That's right. In Azeroth's darkest hour, our king and savior, Sam, will come save us. That is right, Oni. 100%. Very true statement.
In a desperate move, Sylvanas is temporarily pardoned, allowed to return to Azeroth and defend her homeland of Quel'Thalas from the terrible threat of the Nathrazim. It's the redemption arc she's been building toward, and it culminates in an epic assault as she stands shoulder.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Arthas actually returned here like as himself, and he sees the Nathrazim, and the first line he says is, "I will chase you to the ends of the earth." To the ends of the earth. Oh, what a triumphant moment that would be. I wish.
Shoulder to shoulder with her people, her sisters, to reclaim the light of the Sunwell from the looming shadow of Nathriza. The final
into
raid
the astral
in 12.2
abyss
will see us storming into the towering spires of wickedness, the shadowed throne of the dark lords of dread. Statues, stairs, and architecture putting...
This is really cool. So this aesthetic, Revendreth gave us a taste of this, but honestly, that whole gothic, regal, you know, the stone architecture, the castles, all that, I didn't get enough of it. Because you know, I didn't play as that as my home. What's it called? Whatever they were called, our covenants. That wasn't my covenant during Shadowlands. I feel like I didn't get enough of it. I would totally take another zone that's got that gothic castle, appeal. I love that shit. I'd be all about it. And to go to a Dreadlord land where it's all, this gothic looking stuff and vampires and all, I'd be down for it. I'm totally down for it. I would love to see something like this.
Castle Nathria to shame dwarf.
Yeah,
side
Revendreth
players
2.0,
as
I
we
would take
make
it.
our way through labyrinths of fear, smiting the horrors that await within. Our goal is to stop Denathrius and his host of devils. You see, the Nathrazim's endgame isn't just about plunging Azeroth into eternal night. It's about revealing the purpose of our world, those who ordered it, and the truth behind WoW's most controversial of expansions. The Shadowlands? That was no natural.
Imagine they fix Shadowlands. Imagine they fucking fix Shadowlands lore with this. It could happen. I'm not saying it couldn't. It is fixable. Shadowlands lore was broken because it was so scatterbrained. We never really got the full story. Well, you know, the whole thing ends with the bald man falling to his knees and saying, you know, we cannot stop. A cosmos divided cannot stop what is to come. Is that what he said? I believe "come" was his final word. Interesting enough. But that was his, like, final statement. Maybe he was talking about the Dreadlords. Maybe.
Afterlife. It's a cleverly disguised facade conjured by the Makers to keep Azeroth's fate in their grimy hands. With Sire Denathrius and the Nathrazim pulling back the curtain, the roof is about to be blown right off the lodge of this ancient secret society of magical Masonic masterbots. The Pantheon of Order.
Ooh.
We will come to see the Shadowlands in a whole new light. No longer seen as a misstep
Shadowlands
in the
classic?
narrative,
Oh,
but
God.
a pivotal chapter in the Titan conspiracy promised at BlizzCon 2023. And as midnight fades into the last Titan, we'll be heading back to where it all began. Northrend, the frozen heart of domination, to unearth the Titan's gravest sins. Sylvanas Windrunner, returned and ready to finish what she started, will lead the charge. Her fight on Nathraza for the fate of Quel'Thalas is just the beginning. And as she helps us thwart their Sunwell scheme, she'll point us towards the ultimate truth that she's known all
is it?
along. This world is a prison.
Oh, yeah. Just say it again. Oh, say it again, Sylvanas. What one of her greatest lines ever. Yeah, this world is a prison. Did it have all this hidden meaning before, or did Blizzard retroactively create this meaning? We'll never know. But yeah, this world is a prison. Confirmed. We've seen it. This whole prison, what's it called, mechanism on it now.
World is a prison, and the real battle for Azeroth is just
Sam's raid is a
getting
prison.
started. And there you have it, folks. The Nathrazim master plan laid bare for all to see. From Deathrok's camouflage in Gallywix's goblin greed to Lothraxian's betrayal at the Sunwell in Midnight, they've been playing us like pieces on a cosmic chessboard this whole time. The Dreadlords aren't just distracting B-plot side villains, oh no. They are the cunning architects of Azeroth's darkest days. Midnight won't just be about the Void and Ethereals. It's about the unseen enemy, the puppet masters lurking in the shadows, and the lengths we'll go to protect our world. Thank you for tuning in to this monumental episode of Knowledge Wars, where the truth isn't just out there, it's buried under layers of Dreadlord deception and Titan machinery. Be sure to hit like and subscribe across our platforms for future updates. Remember, folks, you are the resistance to the Nathrazim world order.
That's right. This is great, man. Such a great theory. Such a good way to tell the story. And by the way, I just want to say, I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but a year ago, your boy right here, the one you're looking at, Samiccus, dropped a video saying, what if I rewrote the Jailer to be a good villain? Okay? And I just want you to listen to my theory that I created 1 year ago, before the World Soul Saga was announced, before any of this shit came to fruition, before any of these connections were made about Gallywix and all this stuff, and Pepe's a Dreadlord, all this stuff. Listen to this little tidbit I dropped, this fucking amazing video I made, one of the only videos I ever really created on my own from YouTube. Look at this, listen here. So after this, what had basically happened was, Sire Denathrius was a friend, right? In my storyline, him and the Jailer were best buds, okay? and he gets killed. Just listen to it. I'll let this play out. Anyways, the story picks up basically where we kill Sire Denathrius, okay? That's where this picks up here. Hold on, let me unmute. I gotta let this play out. Because you guys are gonna have your minds blown right now that I thought of this shit fucking a year ago. We enter the Shadowlands and eventually raid Castle Nathria, where we defeat Sire Denathrius. Sire's soul is put back into Remornia, just as it was before, but this time, Zoval, his friend, comes to save him. That's right. He sends the Mawsworn to take Remornia with the intent of resurrecting his friend and brother, Sire Denathrius, in Zereth Mortis. Eventually, Zoval had gathered enough anima to break into Zereth Mortis. At one point, he finds what is essentially copies of his siblings. That's right. This made sense to him, as the Eternal Ones had been created here, right? Pay attention to this. There were copies of his siblings, but there weren't copies of one. They were created by these beings. But he did not find a copy of his friend Sire Denathrius. Why? During his time in Zereth Mortis, Zoval had come to realize that the people of this place knew a lot. In fact, they seemingly knew everything, as the creators and originators of life. He asked one of them why Sire Denathrius had no copy here. Why? And the denizen of Zereth Mortis replied, because he is not of our creation. He is of another. He is of the Nether. Oh. At this moment, the twist. Zoval realized that Denathrius was not an Eternal One. He turns around to question Remornia, but before he could, it's too late. The Dreadlords reveal themselves and take Remornia away main villains. With Sire Denathrius' essence inside. Zoval finds out that not only was Sire Denathrius not an Eternal One, but he was the leader of the Dreadlords, and he had long been undercover. For the first time, Zoval now realizes that he had been played. Sire Denathrius was never his brother, and in fact, was never even his friend, but instead, he had been using Zoval to fulfill the greater plan of his own. Yeah. Zoval was enraged. He dug deeper and started to realize that these so-called Dreadlords had not only infiltrated the land of the dead, but they had infiltrated almost every corner of this world, and many other worlds as well. Wow. Suddenly, Zoval has a moment of clarity in his thoughts. Should I stop, he thought? Should he turn back and go to his siblings and tell them what he's discovered? No. No, they never cared about me. Why should I turn back to them? He thought he could continue forward, but he now had changed his plan. Now, he not only wanted to wipe out all life on Azeroth, this was the Jailer's true plan. He wanted to wipe out life completely. He wanted to rid Azeroth of both life and the Dreadlords, and then move on to the next world to do the same. He would continue on until this plague of Dreadlords and life itself had been completely eradicated. So there you go. That's how the story played out in my story, right? That's Zoval's true plan. Once he realized the Dreadlords had infiltrated almost everything, including their own pantheon, Sire Denathrius, he realized that they had to be destroyed. And in order to destroy them, he had to use this re-origination beam to kill everything, essentially, because you could never truly find out where the Dreadlords' infiltration had started and ended. All you knew was they were almost everywhere. So what did you have to do? Kill everything. A very Burning Legion-esque solution, right? But that was the solution that he had come up with. This was a theory I came up with fucking a year ago. A year ago. Interesting video. Yeah, and a great one from Zaxxas. I mean, he went in deeper, right? His theorizing is so much better than mine. A great theory. I hope it's true. Will it happen? I have no idea. But one day, I guess we'll find out whether or not the Dreadlords have infiltrated everything. Maybe I'm a Dreadlord. Who knows? Who knows? Great video from Zaxxas.